All right, what's up, y'all? I got my guy, Wavy West, the options king.
Yes, what's
Um,
going on, bro?
he was able to tap in with me, tap in with the digital products, the webinars, right? And he was able to have some success with it. So, Wes, it's your show. Let the people know who you are. I know I introduced you as Wes, but like
Mhm.
realistically, who you are, the value that you bring to people, and then your journey, bro. So let's get it.
Well, like you said, my name is Wes. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I went to Norman Thomas High School for business. Got a love for business there. Then I went to Del State, where I met Rock at. Um, we instantly connected. We both joined SGA. Of course, he's a little older than me, so he had the position before I did. Then I took the position on. It was cool. I liked it. Got me some experience, but I knew that it was something bigger than that. So I used that experience to levitate to go work in the corporate America. Wasn't really it. So nah, it's not really for me. So I started my own business. I knew that trading options was my thing, so I got good at it. I wasn't that good. I got better. Paid for a lot of courses. Paid for a lot of mentors. Then we could reconnect it right back into the world. I'm like, look at that. But another mentor again. So then we talked. He said, "Y'all got an opportunity for you. You've been doing your thing, killing options, but you haven't really been tapping into your actual social media and using it for your advantage." I'm like, "What you mean? I got like 9,000 followers. What you mean I use it to my people buying my classes every day?" He like, "Yeah, but you ain't really doing much with it." I'm like, let me take that in consideration. He had a program. I say, sign me up. So when we got on the webinar, I say, yo, I wrote in the chat, whatever it costs, just add me to the list. People's like, oh, okay. I tell it, and whatever, and I kept my word. He put it up. I said, okay, cool. I bought it. And then we started doing the webinars. This was my first webinar. I actually had my first webinar paid. So I used to do my classes as a webinar. He restructured that for me. He told me, no, you want to sell them a high ticket at the end, make sure that you get, because before my webinars was $300. So $300 on the webinar, I probably had 10, 15 people, but I'm actually teaching the actual high ticket for $300. He's like, no, that's not going to work.
That's
I
facts.
said, all right, let me do a webinar. He said, you could do paid up or unpaid. I said, I'm gonna do paid because I was already charging for webinars before. I don't want people to think they're not getting no value. And when you pay attention. So I said, okay, I did a little $17, killed them on that. That was a bag. Made a quick little 20, I think 2,500 from that. Had over 80 people sign up. Then we got to the webinar, flamed the webinar up, and I went over, I did the slides like you told me, hit the pain points. And then after that, I had a high ticket offer. I think I got like 12 clients so far. And it's counting because some people wrote me and said, hey, I'm still gonna buy this weekend and next week as well. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it was a quick, what, 12, 13K? Good money.
Facts. So I know you kind of like glanced over. You gave a high what is it like
Over.
overview, right? Right. So how was it going through the process? Because I know we talked before and you was like, yo, bro, I just want to pay you to do stuff, right? And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, I would love to take your money, but at the end of the day, I think everybody should at least learn the automations, the way the funnels are set up. How was that process? Because everybody
So
tech.
originally, like I'm good with trading options. That's why I'm good with math. I'm not good with computers. That's not my thing. I don't get to that. So I called her. I'm like, yo, hey man, let me just pay you for the funnel. I'll pay you for your class too. I'll come and learn, but I'll just pay you for the funnel. You just do it. He's like, no, bro. It's the point. The purpose of it is to actually learn it so you can do it yourself. I'm like, yo, I'm not really. That's not my thing. I can't do no computer work. He's like, yo, it's not that hard. I'm gonna break it down with you. Literally, every Tuesday, every Thursday, we had class. I understood it. Now, granted, I was focused. I was learning, but even if after a while, I'm like, okay, this is repetitive. I could do step A through B, B to C, C to D. It was like a walkthrough. So I was like, that's cool. I can do that. Now I'm actually setting them up myself. I had a little minor glitch that I did on my end, and then I fixed it. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting good at this. And it only been what 2 months. So within 2 months, only meeting probably like what 8 times.
Yeah.
I got it worked out. It's not complicated. I thought it was gonna be complicated, but it's not complicated. If you could make a PowerPoint, you can make automation. And I didn't believe that at first when he said it, but now I'm seeing his success. I'll be making my own soon, and I get to save my money. I don't got to pay somebody that much.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what it's all about, man. So how was it going into your webinar? I know because you did it kind of more of not traditional webinar where it's free on the front end, right?
Mhm.
Made them pay a small fee, right? How was it once you was actually on the webinar, right? Because we talked about kind of like how to structure your slides to make it more transformational. How was that process? Because I felt like when I hopped on your webinar, I felt that it brought a lot of energy, right? And it was I feel like it was different than most people that just try to like bombard you with a whole bunch of stuff on the slides.
Right. So I made my slides real simple because one thing I noticed, if you know the information, you don't really have to have anything on the slide.
Thanks.
Like the slide is just a reference. I use the slide to go off. I may say, even on the slide, I may say, talk about the difference between a call and a put. I don't have to put what call and put is because I know the information. I know I do this every day. So that was one of the things you said. Make sure you know the information before you actually go. Because if you don't, you're gonna look like a fool.
Yeah.
So you gotta prepare yourself. And plus, when you're on a webinar, one thing I learned, people can smell when something is fake or something is not authentic. People can smell out the back. And you know what? You want to have some energy. I started off with the Eric Thomas. It was
Yep.
cool. And then I turned up to me, gave him a little flavor of myself.
Yep.
And when I came on, I dance a lot. I have a good time from New York. We party. So I partied a little bit before we started, and I got to business. I felt the energy was there. I had people cut their cameras on. I had people unmute themselves so they can actually come on. I want to hear because I want to hear from people that's buying from you. I don't want to just take your money and not speak to you. So I had them speak. I opened up at the end. I had questions, and as the questions was rolling, the payments was rolling.
Yep.
And each person that bought, I had them say the reason why they bought, and then they was everybody different.
You letting out a gem, bro. Two things you said that when I hopped on webinars, people weren't really doing right.
Mm-hmm.
One thing you said was I had people turn their cameras on.
Mm-hmm.
That's fire because I know one time I was on a webinar and it's like, yo, you gotta turn your cameras on. But once you turn that camera on, I feel like
focus.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you really going to focus because it's just like, yo, this person can see me.
I can see you on your phone. I can see you playing with your kids.
Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, like, no, I see you, you're not paying attention.
Right.
So I think that was genius, right? And then also, man, a lot of people think that, yeah, the delivery of the content is fire too, but you hit the nail on the head. And I always, like I've been telling y'all, like, yo, the Q&A, deliver the content, but the faster you can get the Q&A, that's when you can start see that money rolling in because people had them questions, right?
Yep.
Like, it's just crazy, bro. The craziest question, yeah, bro. I work a full-time job. It's options for me. Yeah. All right, but I'm buying now. You like,
Yep. Yo, honestly, I'm glad you said that too. One of the clients who bought, I doubled back with them because I had a private call for anyone who purchased a high ticket. I said, hey, what was your reason buying? She said, well, because you said you could put a stop loss on, so I can't lose all my money.
facts.
That wasn't a part of my webinar. Like
Yeah.
that's not a part of the webinar. That was just a question someone else asked, and she heard that and bought. And the good thing about it too, like you said, deliver information. One key gem, I keep harping on what you said because it's really important. Make sure you know your stuff. Before I completed the webinar, somebody already bought the high ticket thing, and I ain't offered yet. I just had the link in my bio. I guess somebody was on the webinar saying, no, I need to buy whatever he's selling. I need to find it quick. So they went to my Instagram page, clicked the link in the bio, which I never promoted. They bought it before the webinar was over. I said, oh, okay, we got something here. But that's because you know your stuff. And I was prepared. You need to prepare yourself for this for your webinar because if you're not, you're gonna look crazy up there.
That's real stuff, bro. Like you really laid it out because once you know your stuff, then when most people scared because they're like, yo, what if this person asks this question and I don't know it? Now, granted, most of the time we know stuff, but I tell people like, yo, if you don't know it, that's prime opportunity for you. Like, you know what? I'm not sure right now. Let me do a little bit of research and get back to you. Right. So that way you don't really look like, oh, this person just fluff. But in your case, I know that you know the information, right?
Yep.
And I think when people really, like you said, when they have less words, right, more picture-based storytelling, like really being able to exemplify that knowledge and expertise, that's when people know, like, okay, all right, this person really tapped in versus, you know, I mean, the quote unquote, like, you know, guru or somebody just learned options last week, you know what I'm saying, had a good little one week run, and then they try to sell you something.
One of the things I learned too, basically, we all went to school, even if it's high school. I remember watching, and the teacher has a PowerPoint on the board. You're trying to write down the notes and listen and pay attention to them. It doesn't work well. That's why you write down what I'm saying. That's why I have key points of what I'm going to talk about. But what I'm saying is more important than what's actually on the screen. And in that way, people know, okay, you know your stuff. It's not. And again, it's rehearsed, but it's organic as well.
Correct. Yeah. You're not reading everything on the screen verbatim, like da 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 da.
And I don't have essays on the screen trying to tell you to write. Because in that case, I could just tell you, I could just send the PowerPoint to people and say, hey, do your thing.
Your thing. For sure, bro. There's so many people that when they talking about the webinars, they're like, yo, look at my content. I'm like, yo, you gotta have less words, more pictures, because a lot of us are visual, right? We see that picture and be able to connect. But bro, you really knocked it out the park. Is there anything that you feel like you could have did better, knowing, after going through the experience, and then kind of like, you say hindsight 2020?
The one thing I can say is I learned from this, and going forward, the next one, I won't focus so much on the comments.
Got you.
Yep. The comments had a lot of questions in them, so I was answering the questions as the comments was going. I should have just held all the questions to the end, but I realized too that I also had people that are already in my stock group come inside the comments and answer questions for me. Now I didn't ask them to do that, but that just shows you what type of community that we have going on over here. So of course, somebody that's in my group didn't pay for the high ticket yet until the webinar came. They put the high ticket and they still was answering questions as if they was working for me. So that's a good thing. But most likely next time I probably have my assistant answering all the questions for me in the chat until we get to the end of the webinar. That way I can stay focused off the chat. Now, granted, I did have people drop fire and stuff in the chat. I need to know how it's going. I need to fill out the energy.
Yep.
That makes me like I can't have a boring webinar, because then I'm gonna be bored and I feel like I'm doing something like it's a job. And I ain't want
that. Yeah, like damn, yep. So, no, that's fire, bro. And yeah, I agree. Like for better words, like, okay, save your questions to the end, because you easily get distracted and then start going off on tangents and I mean,
and that's an easy way. If you don't know your information, stir yourself up, because if you don't know, you're gonna forget where you was at, and that's why PowerPoint is key.
Thanks. No, that's right, bro. For sure. I guess what other questions that we have for you? What would you say for someone that's thinking about either tapping in, right? Like thinking about doing webinars? What would you say? Like, yo, do you feel like it's a good process, or do you feel like, what would you tell the person?
I think if you think about it, then you're already there.
Right.
That's my model, because I know what I want, so I don't have to think much about it. So I know I didn't know how to do a funnel. I know I didn't know how to do a webinar properly, because I was charging $300 for a webinar. Like, I knew it wasn't correct, but once I knew that's something I wanted, I just did it, and I just took the first step. And on top of that, you need to find somebody that you trust. So I trusted you 100%. I told you I was buying before whatever you was offering. So if I trust you that much, I know that, okay, cool. And after that, you gotta believe in yourself. So you trust the person that you're with, because you see the results that they have, and you can use me as a testimony. The results is amazing, and I seen the results that you have done for others. So I said, okay, I know you're gonna help me, and then I just believe myself and we got it done. Don't be the more time you wait, is less money you leave on, the less money you collecting, because you could be getting paid for that, and two, you're down yourself, which you're not gonna get on unless you just take a step out and do it. What's the worst gonna happen? 10 people come, so that's a good thing. 10 people took the time out their day to come see you talk. 5 people come. That's their time. One person come. If one person come, you may have one sale. That's what I've had. You could possibly have a sale.
True.
And that's how I thought about it.
All right, that's the facts, bro. So to kind of wrap things up, where can people find you for people that's watching? Where can they tap in with you just in case they want to learn the options game, right?
Yep. I'm on Instagram at WavyWest, WavyWest. My Facebook is Weston Hip, which is my first and last name. My website is hipfinancials.com. That's financial, FINANCIALS, hip with 2 P's.com. And if you want to get into the webinar, it's optionbag.com/class.
www.optionbag.com/class. Tap in with Wes. I'm telling you, his option knowledge is out of this world. So I appreciate everybody that's tapping in. If you want to tap in with me, click one of these links below, and then we'll get you right on the webinar game.
Let's get it. Thank you, bro.
No, bro. Let me see if I can stop the recording here.